Oop hoop a doo. How y'all do?
Mario.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. What's happening?
What's up? What's up? What's up?
Time to get up, get your body moving. What up, what up, what up?
Hey.
Good morning, good morning, good morning.
Feeling like Pootie Tang this morning.
Should I take my Damie? What's happening?
Just go ahead and funk with us for a little bit, y'all.
Go ahead, man. Friday, April 7th, 2023. Time keeps on slipping.
Hey.
Future. What's going on, y'all? Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. You're listening to First Sky Omaha Radio. First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Paul B, Buddi3 Da Gawd, chat chimers, ghost listeners, radio listeners. What's happening? Shout out to the radio listeners this morning, man. A couple of them are out in San Francisco right now.
Hey.
Checking us out. That's what's up. Appreciate that very, very much. Yeah, man. Yeah, one of my new favorite places in the world.
Man.
Yeah.
Goes down in the Bay, y'all. Goes down. Yay, area.
That's what's up. What's up? So thanks for joining us on this fresh edition of First Sky Omaha in the morning, Friday, April 7th, 2023. It is Friday. Already got some chat chimers chiming up. Appreciate that very much. Pops says good Friday morning and mad love from Las Vegas.
Hey.
Hold on, Pops. Wanda Lewis gives us a good morning over on Facebook. Thank you. Appreciate that. Pop says good Friday morning. Oh, okay. He doubled up on it. That's what I'm talking about. Brother Knight in the house says two of the coolest voices on air. First Sky. Appreciate you, bro. Appreciate that very much.
Man.
Lady Keisha says happy Friday. Yippee yay yay. Yippee yay yay. That's what's up.
Yay.
Hey man, that's what's going on. Ariel's 402 says, let the sideshow begin. Hurry, step right on in. Can't afford to pass it by. Guaranteed to make you cry. You're going back to the oldies, man.
Okay.
What's up, man? Yeah, man. That's that cruising, that California cruising music.
Man, I was gonna say keeping it in the Bay with the side shows though. You know what I'm saying? Shake them dreads.
Sideshow begin. It's rolling with my hyena and my lowrider right there. That's
man. I'm gonna give me one, man. I'm actually been getting really into like lowrider culture out here. I got a minute. All right, Paul. I've been telling you to come out here, man. I've been telling you, bro. I've been telling you. Shout out to my brother Jabari Ashe Bay, man. Definitely hooking me up with some cats and some like minds and pointing me in the right direction. He showed me a few toys that he's got, man. Yeah, I'm gonna give me one, man. I'm gonna give me one. Wifey already got her old school. She got a Chrysler, Newport 71.
Dang. Okay, that's what's up, bro. I'm going back to California and bringing that 68 back, bro. That coupe.
Man.
Ghost riding the whip, like Arrows 402 said.
Hey, is that the Dragonfly? Is that what you
Dragonfly, bro? Yeah.
Man, yeah. We got to do it. We got to do it.
As a matter of fact, I'm in the market for another car. My car's been down for like 2 or 3 weeks, by the way. Lucky I work and live in Benson because I haven't had to have one. But I'm like, man, I'm tired of this car situation. But at the same time, loving not making no payment. I'm loving that. So I'm very seriously considering going ahead and making that move while I'm here and don't need one as much. I'm saying, hey, let me go ahead and get this 68 back rolling and make that the primary. So yeah, I'm working on it.
Man, gonna have to start investing and flipping in something, man. The way the dollar is going, you can't just let it sit in the bank. You gonna have to do something, man. Put in some precious metals, something.
Hey, like Pop says, if you got your money sitting in the bank, you might as well bury it in the ground. That's
Man,
what we call the bank, the ground, the
that
underground.
part, that part.
Vicky Young is us a in the morning singing with you.
Hey,
Appreciate that. Good morning to you over on Facebook. If you're on Facebook, do us a favor and share the show on your page so we can get as many people in talking. It's gonna be a doozy of a show today again. For real.
man, got the dynamic duo coming through today.
Yeah, well, yeah, they fired up too. They very fired up with what's been going on lately. Not just in the legislature, but in the country right now, bro. What's going down in Tennessee is ridiculous.
Oh
Right?
man, oh man, yeah.
Pop said Blue Magic. You know your stuff, Ariel's 402. That's what I'm saying. See, we Pops comes from the era, and then I come from the era of rolling around cruising them oldies in Cali. So that's what's up, man. So he says, what do you say? Donks aren't lowriders.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. I have to agree. Some I will say donks are high rollers. Like you know what I'm saying. If it's a dunk, you rolling on like some 28s.
Is that what that is?
Some yeah. That's what a dunk is. A
I
dunk is
know.
like Florida, Atlanta culture. I mean, you know, has of course seeped into other areas. You'll see some in the big uh cars like wrapped in like Eminem logos
Oh
and
yeah.
yeah with the big rims. Yeah, that's a dunk. That's a dunk. Yeah,
Oh
yeah,
okay. I
yeah,
didn't know what
yeah,
that was
yeah, yeah.
called.
Yeah, so on the dunk you might see some characters like SpongeBob. On lowrider you're gonna see some
All right.
pinstripes,
You can
some
keep that out.
airbrush.
You can keep that out this way. Don't bring that to
Yeah,
Cali right there,
yeah,
bro.
yeah,
That ain't gonna work. That ain't
yeah.
gonna
Not
work.
many, not many dunks in Cali. It's more like the southeast kind of thing.
And them is high rollers is what they call
Yeah,
them.
yeah, man. You're
Okay.
sitting high. You're sitting high.
Well, I mean, I saw a couple pictures of some of the floods and stuff that's been happening in down south. So I'd be
you
happy to
you
get some of the 25s on there.
you and Mr. Stewart right on time. Y'all right,
Hey,
man.
hey, but I will say this though. I will say that the ones that I'm from car culture from California. So when I come out here and see anybody doing anything to their car, I'm proud. Donks or not, whatever it is, if you modifying your car, man, if you're in the car culture a little bit, then I'm proud. You taking some
Hmm.
pride in your whip. I'm with that big time. So I'm also with the motorcycle culture out here too. My uncle introduced
Man,
me to the clubs when I first got in town, and Omaha's got some great clubs, man. And I really feel like if we can tap in, that's a good connection too. To be real, like if you can tap in, if you're in with the motorcycle clubs and you really knowing what's going on the streets, you really knowing what's going on in North Omaha for real.
hmm
So every time as much as I can when they selling plates and doing stuff for their club, man, I'm trying to support because that's our social clubs for real.
yeah,
Yeah.
for sure, for sure. Shout out to my sister Amber. You speaking of making plates, man. She's cooking down with the street soldiers down at their headquarters, the bunker over there on right off of 30th and Sorensen.
Okay, 30.
Yeah,
Okay,
is it
yeah,
right
yeah,
across?
yeah.
Yeah, that's right across the street from Aldi's.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. Shout out to the street soldiers. Of course,
Yeah.
shout out to Sister Kimra Snipe. She's a part of the culture as well.
Big time.
So yeah, man. I love Omaha's bike club culture. And I mean, really, you're kind of one who piqued my interest and really tip, my awareness to the social clubs of Omaha.
Hmm.
And even going back in the day, in the 60s, they had the social clubs and just kind of what it meant to the community. But yeah.
Yeah. That's that. I'm all about it, man. I was just thinking about it last night when because we're trying to put things together for the membership, some perks and stuff like that for those of you that are members of First Sky Omaha Club. And really, that's what we're even calling it. When we at the end when we thank everybody who's like a $10 member or a $25 member or a $50 member, these are people that are members of this club. And what we've been trying to build that so that we can put some perks in there and do some events and do all kinds of stuff for the people that are really kind of contributing that way. And it got me really thinking about like how this show has changed into this thing where we have a First Guy Omaha family now. The chat chimers and the ghost listeners are like family. When one of the family is down, we get everybody to start to kick in for that member of the family. I mean, we're basically building a social club here with First Sky Omaha. That's basically what
Mm-hmm.
it is.
Mm-hmm.
So that puts me back into that club mentality. What are the club rules? What are the club perks? And what are the club tenants? Like, what are we going to be doing with this club? Hopefully we'll be sending people up to the Senate, or sending people up to the legislature to support bills. We can lead some protests. There's all kinds of stuff that can happen when we build a group of like-minded people that start to care about each other that way. So I'm all about that whole club culture, and I want to really build that with First Sky because I feel like it's a natural progression.
Yeah, I mean, really, as I kind of learn more about what it is that we're doing here in society, and just what this thing is and how it works. That's the only way to get anything done around here is with a group of like minded individuals moving in a certain way, wherever whatever you want to call it. You know what I mean? The only teamwork makes the dream work, man. I'm telling you, it's gonna come back. That's just it's not me. It's not me. I didn't make it the theme of the season. I'm just telling you that's what I was told.
Yeah,
You get what I'm saying? So,
yeah.
hey, teamwork makes the dream work, and it's always gonna come back to that, man. We'll only get things done together.
There you go. 7-Eleven right now, if you believe in the concept of time. Yes, you are in season 5 of First Sky Omaha Radio, First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
As it's chiming up in the chat, hard. I love it. Kimmer Stripe says, I had the pleasure of seeing several donks when I was in South Beach. Love the culture of it.
Man, love South Beach. Love Miami, South Florida. Shout out to the whole Florida fam, man. Second home.
Well, you guys, you're going to have to convince me about that Florida because everything I see about it is some.
Have you been?
I've never been.
Okay.
Never been. But I don't, anywhere where DeSantis is not right
I
now.
mean, he ain't gonna be there forever, but the palm trees will. I'll tell you that much.
I grew up with palm trees, bro. I ain't fiending for it, but I'll come and check it out. I'll see what's happening.
Man, it's
I got
beautiful.
some
It's
people out
beautiful.
there for sure.
Yeah.
I do like the battle of the Disney World DeSantis battle that's going on.
Man, I've heard a little bit, man. I heard a little bit, but
Southern
yeah, yeah.
California Disney cat. I'm proud. Get him. Kira Snipes says you tapped in. She says, "Okay, buddy." She's at Immortal Souls too. So talking
Yeah,
about
man.
over there.
Yeah, man.
Man, I don't think I've heard of Immortal Souls. So there's some more clubs I need to look into.
It's plenty of clubs in Omaha. It's a very robust culture and
That's
scene.
what's up. Kimmer says Omaha is a unique set compared to almost every city I've been to.
Yeah, I'm telling
That's
you.
what's up, man. Let's see, Ariel's 402 says my brother lost a fellow rider last week. I lost a fellow Marine, Gary Mangiamelli. R.I.P. Watch out for riders. Yeah,
Man.
while we talking about the motorcycle gangs, watch out for the bikes, bro.
Yeah.
Watch out for the bikes. It's
Look
dangerous.
twice.
Yep. Kimmer says the first motorcycle club in Nebraska is a black club. That's right. That's what's up. Timex Social Club. Ariel's 402. Kimmer says I tell people all the time that motorcycle club members are true organizers at heart. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
That's what
man.
I'm talking about. Collective Impact. Ariel's 402 A1A Beachfront Avenue. Okay. Rick Fulton says looks like progress on McKinney's. Yep, we're going to talk about it today. LB 531 on the calendar for next week. There's some good news finally on some of that stuff, so we'll definitely be talking about that.
Yeah.
Also, let's see. Judy Printer says listening while getting ready for a trip to Wisconsin to visit my other family. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Safe travels,
Yeah.
Judy Prinzler. Appreciate you tuning in to us before you get your day going. Also, Rick Fulton says amended bill has money for the airport park and affordable housing and museum and money for mud pipes. Yeah, we'll be digging into some stuff for sure. Get your questions ready for the brother senators that are going to be coming on today. We'll
Yeah.
definitely be talking about, but there's a lot more that we need to dive into for real. Like I said, I'm glad you mentioned the 531, the good news. But what else is going on the agenda, buddy? Because we got a heavy day today.
Yeah, we do. We do. Definitely going to be talking about Ill and Pillen quite a bit today. I guess this is the beginning of the Ill and Pillen era. I feel like we're going to be going just as hard on Pillen as we did on Ricketts, if not harder,
I
man.
told you it's going
And
to be worse. I told you he's going to be worse than
I
Rick.
mean, we're already seeing Ricketts esque favoritism. Well, we'll just start with
Nepotism.
that. Yeah. That. Thank you. I was thinking of a better word, but favoritism is all I came up with. But nepotism, yes. Thank you. As far as this latest appointment, again, Senator Susan Geis announced last week that she will be stepping down, and her seat has already been filled. No time has been wasted, and no time has been given. I'll say that part. So we'll definitely talk about that situation. Also, we sort of talked about it on Wednesday, but now that we will have the senators on today, I definitely want to round back to it as far as Pillen's education bill and see exactly what's going on, what's the minutia of the bill and the finances as OPS and Westside set up for a very potentially ugly court battle. If you remember, is it state or county? Is Brother John Ewing the county treasurer?
Yeah, county.
County, okay. Treasurer Brother John Ewing had a mishap, I believe, about a year ago, where they miscalculated the education funds for the county, and more money went to Omaha or OPS than they were supposed to get. And now Westside wants their loot back, but looks like OPS isn't going down without a fight. So we'll definitely talk about that situation. Also, Paul sort of alluded to it earlier. Tennessee having a situation with a gun protest leading to two out of three. We'll say that state senators being kicked out or kicked off of the floor. Again, I'll say it, man. It's cool when they do it. It's a problem when I do it. And as the senators, McKinney and Wayne have both said, man, we just can't do what they do. So, yeah, we'll definitely talk about the situation going on in Tennessee and more throughout the show. Of course, we're here for the next 2 hours. So if there's anything else on your hearts, your minds that you would like to discuss, and we have some context, we'll try to get into it. So definitely feel free to jump into the chat. I also wanted to jump back to a comment that Pops made. I didn't want to jump over that because I was curious myself. Actually giving a little family history for the Allens. He says, Kimra, good morning. My uncle, who they called Little Caesar, was a member of a club decades ago when I was still a teenager. What is the name of that first black club? I was also curious about that, Sister Kimra. So if you have, that name, what was the name of the first black club?
Yeah, and the club that he was in last was Ebony Wills, and that's the one he introduced me to when I got into town. So I don't know if that was that. I don't know if that was the first black club, but that was the last one that he was in before he passed away. He was but Little Caesar was the one who I hung with when I first got in town, really hard. And I can see now my viewpoint of what Omaha is really came from hanging with Little Caesar in North Omaha and the clubs and so on and so forth, getting the history and what was going on in the city too. So that's what's up.
I mean, also, he gave you the real.
That's right. Also wanted to mention before we get this show started, yes, we absolutely are going to talk about Brother Anthony Goins because we talked about him Wednesday, and as soon as we got off the air, all the stuff went, all the S hit the fan. So
man, went down.
It went down, and we'll definitely be talking about that and more coming up here. First Sky Omaha Radio, First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
All Beeee, Buddi3 Da Gawd, Chat Chimers, Ghost listeners. Let's do it.
By the way, Vanglorious. This is protected.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. You're listening to First Sky Omaha Radio, First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the DS.
I faked y'all out. You thought the show was over, didn't you? Fat finger and buttons over here, Paul Beeee.
Man,
Buddi3 Da Gawd. Hey. What's going on? Thank you for joining us this morning. Brother Knight, we really want to kind of chill out on those things that we're talking about here in your comment. Appreciate you. I understand you're making a point, and we will absolutely be talking about that. Family show though, so let's be cool. But yeah, man, lots to talk about today, and everybody's really fired up about what's been going on, not just in Omaha, but what's been going on in the country right now. I got a message from Justin Wayne last night, very fired up about what's happening. The legislature has been changed all around. They're doubling up bills over there. There's a lot happening, a lot of movement that's going on now because of the time frame. We're running out of time. We're running out of time. So Pop said, I thought I'd fallen asleep and the show was closing. Yeah.
It is like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning over there. So yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, man, it's really interesting. We definitely have some things that we wanna bring out today and talk about some clips to play about what's been going on here in the legislature, also in Tennessee.
Man,
This is really huge, man. What's going on in Tennessee is really huge, and I got to tell you, that state looks a lot like our state. We got a couple of black men in our legislature, and it makes me be like, okay, so okay, you know how the Omaha loves to follow suit on some things.
man,
Let's see what's happening.
especially following red states.
Most def. But let's go ahead and jump into it before the brothers senators come on. Once again, First Sky Omaha. This is a fresh edition, a fresh Friday edition of
Man.
First Sky Omaha in the morning. Really appreciate everybody that's joining us this morning. It's going to be a doozy of a show, buddy. What's first on the agenda?
Well, I'm gonna go back and say thank you to brother Rick Fulton and Vaughn Chapman for reminding me about the Tony Goins situation, because we definitely do want to touch on that
Mm.
as far as the economic development director again stepping down, and Paul, you lined it up as far as the timing. Uh,
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I do kind of feel a little, I feel a little way that
Look,
he stepped down as soon as we had the conversation, and I know we gave him big ups, and we were kind of gave him the benefit of the doubt. Then what, we weren't one of the media outlets villainizing the brother. You know what I mean? But still, the timing is it's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy.
well, our newest partners, Nebraska Examiner, is the one that
Shout
dropped
out.
this article. Yeah, shout out to them. They dropped the article, and the facts are the facts. They dropped the article saying what happened. What it's and while there were some questions out there, that article brought up the questions, and before we can really even like bring the brother on, ask the questions, hear from him, this move happened, and it feels real funny because I read his letter, the letter, excuse me, the letter that he wrote to step down, and it was the first couple paragraphs was him talking about how he's going to step down and how in the time that he spent there and so on and so forth. The last paragraph was really like, we've been victimized and villainized, and for some stuff that we didn't do. He really went in on, I didn't do this, but I'm leaving anyway, which I still don't really understand. I don't really understand that too much. I would really like to talk to him about that, because I think I probably would have fought that. If I was that adamant on I didn't do anything wrong, and I was very transparent on what it is. I mean, we could read the last part of that paragraph,
Mm-hmm.
but it made me feel like a lot of people who've been hitting me on the DMs and stuff since this happened. This feels real funny, man. This real how it's almost like they want to control that money so bad that they figured out a way to get him out the way. And I'm
And that's the feeling I had when you sent it to me, as far as that, when it broke, as soon as the show ended, you sent it to me, and I'm getting that. I kind of got fired up myself, like, man, this is so there should be more senators and more people in the cabinet stepping down then, because I'm sure, like, again,
well,
it's cool when they do it.
well, here's you talking about them stepping down, but Kimmer Snipes come on and said fired. Brianna Full said he was definitely fired.
Man, so
Which is new news, because what we were understanding was that he stepped down. He had a resignation letter in the whole nine that got published. So was he fired? Because that's new news to me. I'm thinking this whole time that he stepped down from everything that I've been reading.
yeah, well, again, we do have a report from KETV 7,
Yeah,
which we can dive into, which actually includes that last paragraph that Paul is mentioning. So,
let's go.
and again, according to this report, it does say that he immediately resigned, and this is as of 6:22 on April 5th. So, again, there, if anyone has any updates, please let us know. This is a conversation. But the report that we have says that he immediately resigned on Wednesday, and this is per an announcement from Governor Jim Pillen. The governor's office did not provide a reason for the resignation, but of course, the timing is very, very interesting. As soon as, again, on Wednesday, the Nebraska Examiner reported Goins received $24,000 in stabilization grants during the COVID-19 pandemic, again, from the Nebraska Department of Economic Development, which he was the chair of, or the president of, for his Austin Hill Cigar Lounge, which he was, again, majority owner, 51% owner of. Again, Goins was appointed by former Governor Pete Ricketts back in 2019. However, under state law, agency directors are prohibited from earning profit from businesses or taking actions that provide them a financial benefit. Of course, the examiner also reported, as Paul mentioned, the facts. Goins' partner did state that he made the grant application and that Goins had no involvement in seeking the funds. Goins himself said he had no part in seeking the funds. Also, in the report, it said that the funds did not go directly to Auburn Hills, I believe Austin Hills, the name of the cigar lounge. It went to another LLC that is actually in management of the cigar lounge. So there are some definite questions, and definitely from looking at the statement from Goins himself in his resignation, he does feel like again there's some questionable activity, to say the least. He says, despite our strong track record of success at DED in recent days, I have been the target of false attacks with respect to a cigar business I have ownership interest, but do not operate and do not profit from. Again, the LLC that actually received the funds is a completely different name than Austin Hill Cigar Lounge. So keep that in mind. He also goes on to say these attacks have been a gut punch to my family and reputation and are a distraction from the outstanding work we've done at DED. And again, I will also put in, on the floor that it has been petitioned or there's an amendment, and we can talk to the senators more about it, that the LB 1024 funds go through the DED. So if there's some changes at the DED, or again, we've seen, and we'll get into how Pillen replaced Geist. If Pillen, however, whoever Pillen picks to appoint, and again, this is a position that can be appointed. So whoever Pillen picks to fill that position could possibly make some decisions or dictate how, again, LB 1024, those economic recovery funds are actually spent. Because again, we will have to go through the DED to get those funds. So now there's a change in leadership, which means we're going to have to deal with somebody else who may not be a brother, who might not really understand what it is that we're talking about. So
And
there you go.
that's the biggest issue. The timing of this situation is pretty strange to me. And first I want to just comment on that last, like I said, that last paragraph. First of all, we started off talking about whether or not he was fired or he stepped down. Officially, he resigned. So what the ladies were talking about in the chat was, it sounds like, that he was probably asked, that everybody is like pretty sure he was asked to step down and he resigned. So not necessarily fired,
He was
but
Nebraska nice fired.
okay, yeah, you can say that. But yeah, this is what he probably was he we're speculating that he probably was told to step down. That's a speculation though. And right now, I want to take it for what the information that we have coming in, which is his resignation letter. He resigned. Officially, was not fired. He resigned. And my question is why? Because I mean,
Mm-hmm.
this all happened very very fast. The Nebraska Examiner article came out, making some accusations. I don't know what he had to go through after those accusations came out. I do know that he was supposed to be on Brother King's show. Then that got postponed a week. Next thing I know, the resignation letter, and at the end of this letter, he's stating, I've done nothing wrong, but this is taking a toll, so I'm stepping down.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, I probably would have fought that a little bit more, and so it makes me wonder what is going on behind the scenes. I can't blame anybody for thinking like Brianna Full said, he was asked to resign. I'm sure he was too. I mean, that's not the information that we're getting, but I can't. But it's too interesting of a situation to me to just rule that out, especially with all this other stuff you're talking about that's hanging over our heads. Wanda Lewis in the chat said LB 531 didn't even hit the floor until he was gone. So
Man.
it really, really does seem like, and to remind you, 531 is that extension of 1024. We're still talking about ARPA funds coming to North and South Omaha. We did talk to the senators that said that they were going to, that there was even opportunities, the next step of this money was that you had to apply to the DED in order to even get what the stuff that you were suggested to get. So it's interesting that the head of the DED was the black man is now not in the position anymore, and like you said, it needs to be filled, and that's going to be Pillen assigning somebody, and that's just too much of a coincidence for us. It doesn't inspire faith that the good work that Brother Senator Terrell McKinney and Justin Wayne did is going to come to fruition. It's not going to, you know what I'm saying? Like that money's not going to get to us. We already are skeptical that it will. This didn't help, and there's too many questions surrounding this. There's too many
And
questions surrounding it.
and not to mention 531, like you said, it didn't hit the floor until this change happened. It was delayed because of a filibuster over a bill that wasn't going to pass in the first place. So tell me what's really going on. Like
Right,
we're not. I'm not crazy.
right.
And we're
That's
all saying the same thing.
yeah.
So what's really going on?
Von Chapman said, "Let's look at Tony Goins' replacement. That might speak volumes." Absolutely. Terry Crawford in the house. Good morning on Facebook said, "Watch the pattern. Logan, Veta Jeffries, now going step down is relative. A lot of people stepping down real quick, real fast. A lot of black leadership going away." Kimmer says that sounds like someone who made a mistake and he's catching the blame. Right. Let's see. Kimmer Snipes says, "I'm saying, of course, in the public, we are going to say he stepped down. I'm just saying, behind the scenes, it's likely that they were getting rid of him." Right.
Yeah,
Yeah, we
Nebraska
understand that's
nice.
your opinion. Right. She said, "All opinions of my own." That's right. Tanaya Patterson says, "Sounds like a setup." But if he was 51 in, then the potential wrongdoing was still going to take part culpability for it, no matter if the grant went to another LLC. Um, we don't really know what this is. I don't. Okay, I'll take that. I would like to see. I would like that to have played out. Give him a chance to play it out. That's what I was saying Wednesday. Like, if he made a mistake, give a brother a chance to make a mistake. Number one, and then come back and fix it or do whatever. If that's even what it was, because he's still defending that he did nothing wrong, even in his resignation letter. And I tend to give him the benefit of the doubt until you prove me otherwise.
Yeah, I mean because as far as what we know, one as really what we can concretely say he did wrong was he did not disclose his ownership. That's really about it. He did not disclose the relationship that he had to this business.
That's
Now,
that's not the reason why. That's not the reason he's stepping down. That's
but again, that's as concretely that's all we can say he did wrong
I'm
though.
saying, but we don't. What I'm saying is that we don't even know if that is enough to have to step down for. He didn't state that as the reason for him stepping down. He
That's my
stated
point. Right.
the accusations, and the hard toll on his family of these accusations is the reason why he's stepping down.
False
And
attacks is what he called it.
I don't know, bro. What are you trying to say about the facts that the Nebraska Examiner came out with? Because is that the only pressure that you're getting? Is that one article? I will give him the benefit of the doubt. He's probably getting pressure from elsewhere, not just that one article.
Well, yeah.
He's probably getting pressure from elsewhere. Like everybody on the chat is feeling like he probably got asked to step down.
Well, let's think critically about this, man. It's not the Nebraska Examiner who filed the letter, who sent the letter to the accountability office. That's really what started it. That's the tip that Nebraska Examiner is just doing what journalists do. They there was a smoking gun and they followed the smoke trail. That's what journalists do. Journalists don't know something until they get a tip. That's how that, and then they dig and ask questions. That's all journalists do, and then they report what they find.
Yeah. So who
I
filed
want
that?
who filed that letter? Where did that letter come from? And
Right.
why did they file it against him? Because again, if we do more investigate, I'm sure you. What about the other people? What about anybody else? We'll talk about. Let's talk about Pillen and the relationship that he has with Bosn.
Let's talk about Ricketts and what how where his companies have benefited from any of these
Come
funds.
on, man. The St. Francis Ministries. Why didn't Rick get stepped down when he's owner of the Chicago Cubs and they're trading tickets for? Come on, man.
Brother, yeah.
Stop it. Stop it.
Stuart, Brother Knight in the chat says sometimes those scandals are engineered to remove an individual, usually black, to avoid a lawsuit. Ask Mickey Joseph. Ooh.
Stop it.
Sarah
Stop
Fel-
it.
in the chat on Facebook said, "No question, this was being planned the minute these gentlemen were elected." Von Chapman in the chat. Good morning. He said, "Will he be required to return the money he received or charged with malfeasance?" So I'm saying, look, can we even get to what the issue is before we get all the moving around of the positions? Christy Norris says, and he will put an old white man in that seat, an old Republican white man in that seat for sure. And now with that, and now when we have to apply to the DED to get the money that's supposed to be allotted for North and South Omaha, we're going to have to deal with somebody else. Kimmer Snipes says this Nebraska nice is starting to get on my nerves. Von Chapman said time is the enemy for progress for North Omaha. Arrows 402 says when he was 51% in the LLC or 51% interest in the bar club. What was the rest of your thought there?
He's 51% in the bar or the club. Again, he's 51% owner of Austin Hills Cigar Bar.
Right.
Again, the entity that got the is a whole different it's a different name,
And so
different
he's asking,
LLC.
he's asking, is 51% of the LLC or just the bar?
Just the bar.
Anyway, we can't. It doesn't even matter. We can't get to it. The consequences have already happened before we can even get to answering the question.
Right. No due process.
Marianne Williams says, I wouldn't be surprised if someone on Pillen's team reported it and leaked to the Examiner. Okay. Tonight, Patterson said he was in partnership ownership and the application was made on behalf of and funneled into another entity. I don't believe he did any wrongdoing, but considering the level of ownership, he was definitely feeling the pressure. I mean, like I said, though. Wanda Lewis said, didn't Senator Terrell McKinney recently make an amendment to Economic Recovery Act to include public and private sector? Don't remember that. I kind of vaguely remember that. Yeah,
We'll have to ask him.
we'll have to ask him when he comes on. But anyway, yeah, there's too much to that. There's too much to that, and I think we're all on the same page about whether or not that is the case. But next steps, next move, we'll definitely see what the senators have to say about that. I would love to still have Brother Goins on to tell his side of the story.
Oh yeah, we got
At
to.
the very least.
Now we definitely got to. It's too many questions. We have to have him on. And
I mean, before we were going to have him on because we wanted to ask him like straight up. Well, what's the deal here? We don't really need to do that. He said it in his resignation letter. What's up? That he's read the words that he's using because
I'll slow it down.
The first sentence says,
I'll slow it down.
Yeah.
It says, despite our strong track record of success at DED, so let's just stop there. Like,
there you go.
I've shown results.
I'm killing the game at my job.
Despite that,
right.
In recent days, I have been the target of false attacks.
False. There's the word of false attacks. Move on.
With respect to a cigar business, and here's the part that we definitely don't need to skip over. I have an ownership interest, but do not operate and do not profit from.
Okay. So we can stop right there because my point is he's telling his side of the story right there. Whatever it is that he's been accused of, he's just explained what he's saying. These are wrong. Well, the accusations of me benefiting from something or there being some collusion here or whatever is false. I'm not benefiting from this. I'm not, so on and so forth. So in his resignation letter, and now let's, if we can move on a couple more sentences, because I want to get to the point where he is saying why he's stepping down.
I only have those few statements. He says these attacks have been a gut punch to my family and reputation and are a distraction from the outstanding work we've done at DED, which would have included all of the, helping facilitate the 1024 funds and getting hundreds of millions of dollars to an area that has been historically disinvested in, so much so that the reader created a series called Disinvested. So, let's keep the main thing the main thing.
Yeah. The toll on his family, the toll on his reputation is the reason why he's stepping down from this. And that's unfortunate. It's not because of any of the wrongdoing that has yet to be proven, and there's no point even sticking on that point anyway, because the consequences of what's happened has already happened. He stepped down. Yeah. But Marianne Williams is bringing up a strong point though. Didn't Pillen appoint him though?
No, Ricketts did. Ricketts appointed him in 2019.
Okay. Sarah Phelps on Facebook says there's something going on backstage here. Exactly. She's speaking my language too. Something going on backstage for real. Some kind of backhanded threats. The ownership situation is not ideal, but not against the law. He's stating that he's not doing anything wrong. It wouldn't take much to look into the situation to see that you can own businesses that receive help and funds. These types of things happen all the time, and without getting into the details, like we don't have to get into the details anymore
No.
because he stepped down. He decided to take that step. Whatever the fight was, he didn't want to have to fight it.
Let's get into the next story because I want to juxtapose it, and I don't want to hold on this too long before the
Yep, yep.
senators come. But this is connected. So this is the next step in the conversation, y'all. So stay with me because you see what's happening with brother Goins. Now let's look at the conflict of interest all through this story, just all up and through this story with Governor Pillen. Because we got to talk about how again he's going about his appointment, and again conflict of interest is supposed to be why brother Goins was fired or stepped down, right? According to KETV, is that KE? Yeah, KMTV. Excuse me. Three. Governor Pillen has announced that his appointee to replace Geis, who is stepping down from her post as senator to run for the mayor of Lincoln. So she again has stepped down, effective. I believe she announced on Wednesday. And typically, what is supposed to happen, mind you, let's keep this in mind. What is supposed to happen is there's supposed to be a public application period when a state senator is appointed to give others, again, those who might show themselves proven worthy to apply for the chance to run for a senator position. However, Geis announced her intention to resign on Wednesday, and immediately Pillen shared that he would announce his choice to replace her on Thursday. And who did he pick? None other than Lincoln's own Carolyn Bosn. Hopefully, I'm pronouncing her name correctly, but if I'm not, let me know in the chat. And again, if you're not familiar, Carolyn Bosn is a longtime prosecutor, but that's not the important part. The important part are her connections to Pillen. According to KMTV3, Bosn's connections to the top executive in the state run deep. She reportedly grew up in Columbus, where her family was close to Pillen's family. The governor said Thursday that he known Bosn since she was a child. Bosn also worked as the deputy county attorney in Lancaster County from 2010 all the way until 2017 under then county attorney Joe Kelly, who is now the state's lieutenant governor. So nepotism all through this. She left Kelly's office in 2017 to become a stay-at-home mother of her four children. And of course, Pillen is facing criticism from progressive lawmakers for not taking applications before filling the seat. Another swift move, as we've seen just with the going situation. So again, a lot of quick, shifting of leadership, a lot of quick shifting of positions, and Governor Pillen is taking no time to fill in those positions, and he's actually not hiding it. Paul, I can't quite find the quote, but you had a quote from Pillen as far as his logic behind this decision.
Yeah, it's down. It's down a little further in the article after they talk about what Michaela Kavanaugh was saying about him. Let me see if I can find that real quick. Yeah, because that's what stood out to me is this.
Oh, yeah, here it is.
Yeah.
According to the article, Pillen said he moved quickly to fill the seat to ensure conservatives have enough votes to push through an agenda that mirrors those in other Republican-led states this year. And again, we'll get into what other Republican-led states are doing when we talk about Tennessee. But again, it's cool when they do it. It's a problem when I do it.
I mean, they ain't even hiding it no more, bro. It's just we need more Republicans here in this in the legislature that's supposed to it's quote unquote a unicameral. You know what I'm saying? Like like just blatant with it, just blatant with it, just blatant with it.
And,
So
and there's a script.
the 33 votes that are needed, and so we need all the Republicans we can get on that. Just blatant with it, and in a unicameral. It's supposed to be a unit. It's not supposed to be where you are partying up inside this unicameral. This is supposed to be a nonpartisan situation here.
I don't think the governor got that part.
Yeah, man. So yeah, I'm glad you. I'm glad. Yeah, not too much to say about that. It's pretty.
I
Get
mean,
it.
but when you look at the full picture, man,
We
like
don't even.
really look at it.
We don't even have to speculate on that one. He just came out and said this is what he's doing. He's putting a Republican in that seat right away, so that they can move on with their Republican agendas.
Man, but like
Right there is a quote.
the script, like how long have we been talking about the script and now there's like blatant proof that there is a script and how far and how much I mean it's almost like admirable. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like they're getting it done. Teamwork is making the dream work over there, y'all.
I'm gonna jump into the chat real quick before we get to our guests coming in. Vaughn Chapman says too often Republican brothers are out in leadership positions in conservative ridden politics to take the hit when the crap hits the fan.
Yeah.
Wanda Lewis says we were warned that it would possibly be a holdup when it got to the DED. So we were warned about 1024 about the money coming to North and South Omaha. We were warned by the brother senators that it might be held up. It could be held up. And after the DED, the governor still has to sign off on it. So we already knew there's going to be some issues. At least we kind of felt like, well, Goins is ahead of this, so maybe the DED won't hold it up. I don't really feel like the DED is not going to hold it up anymore. Now I feel like it's really going to get held up. Might even get taken away.
Man.
Sanaya Patterson said he can only answer why the character attacks were enough for him to resign, or were they more than verbal? Those kinds of attacks are a staple in the state. Though these funds are crucial to the community, and now I don't have any confidence that Pillen is going to appoint anyone near as vested in getting those funds down here.
No.
Exactly what I'm saying.
No.
Sarah Phelps on Facebook says cronyism is alive and well, but he is being directed in this by national interests. There is a clear strategy in red states with large blue urban areas. We call it the script. You call it the strategy.
The script.
Marianne Williams
Pillen calls it the agenda.
Right. Marianne Williams says it's definitely cronyism, but plans since Geist announced for mayor must defeat Geist. Okay, so that's another part of this. She's going for mayor.
Yeah. That's why guys stepped down because I mean you could see kind of the cronyism and remember Pillen was a regent at UNL, so his Lincoln ties run deep. So you can see you can see how the pawns are being lined up, man. It's chess not checkers, but if you pay attention, you see the moves.
Yeah. We appreciate everybody that's joined into the chat.
It just some kind of hit me, man, because you're talking about DeSantis, and again,
Florida, bro.
Oh no, it just hit me. Okay, Pillen has a $1 billion education bill. What happened with Ben Sass? Where did he go? How did those moves happen? Again, we're talking about Republican pawns moving. We're talking about the agenda. We're talking about how things are being done. What agenda in other red Republican-led states is Pillen talking about? Because we saw some moves in Florida and some changes in their education system. What is coming down the pipe in Nebraska? And that just kind of hit me. So, what again? What agenda is he really talking about? Let's think critically about that one.
Let us, ladies and gentlemen. You're listening to First Sky Omaha Radio, First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the DES.
And it is 7:48 right now in Omaha, Nebraska. We are going to bring on our special guests that are behind the scenes, waiting in the wings. And before we do that, just want to see if I can share a screen here real quick. Hold on.
I need your help. I can't tell you what it is. You can never ask me about it later, and we're gonna hurt some people.
I just gotta play it.
You gotta play the response. Whose car are we taking?
Whose car are we taking? We taking Justin Williams.
I just gotta play it. You gotta play the response. Whose car are we taking?
Yo. Let me turn that down real quick. Good morning, fellas. Good morning, brothers. You gotta turn your speakers down there, Justin.
That's on me.
Good morning, y'all. How y'all doing this morning, man?
Good. How you doing?
Oh man, we hanging in
Man,
there.
Yeah. We breaking it down. We
My
breaking
bad.
it
I'm listening
down.
on my phone. My bad.
Oh, you good? Hey, but you tuned in. Are we on point with our analysis? How we doing in the game, coach?
Man, yesterday, Terrell, Senator McKinney. I see. We been hanging so much. I been calling by his first name, but when we talk publicly, I got use the respectful.
Put some respect on
Senator
his
McKinney
name.
came into my office and was like, "They voted unanimously for the prison." That's the scene that popped in my head. That's why I sent that last night. You ready? Like we gonna hurt some people, and I'm just like, all right, who car we taking?
Yes, sir.
Man. Hey, rolling up the sleeves, man. Apparently it's getting ugly. First of all, let's we gotta get some perspective from you guys on what's going on with the DED and the effect that it might have on LB 1024 and just what's going on with Brother Goins. Y'all have any input?
you know, you can't take this without looking at the context of Dr. Logan, looking at the context of Vita Jeffries,
Right.
and you can't take this without looking at the context of what happened yesterday in Tennessee.
Mm.
I said yesterday to Senator McKinney, we were driving and we got to thinking and called each other about the same time. It was like, I think there is a fundamental assault going on Black and Brown leadership across this country, and I think particularly in Nebraska, when we're trying to make moves to do criminal justice reform and empower our most impoverished areas, I think we are getting looked at with a different scope than the rest of the people in similar positions.
Mm.
Well said. Definitely think that we want to bring Brother Goins on and talk to him directly because we definitely have questions. But yeah, man, there is something going on here with Black leadership. Terrell, what are you thinking about this situation? I mean, excuse me, Senator McKinney. Excuse me. I'm
Mama say
tripping.
who put some respect on his
Put some
name.
respect on his name.
Um,
Tripping.
Overall, I just, feel, how I felt, going into politics, honestly, that, when it comes to being black and when it comes to black issues, one, we're always under attack, and I don't think that ever stops. And two, I don't think people, in my personal opinion, especially since I've been in politics the last few years, they don't really care about black issues like they advertise. So it's easy to push our things to the side, and it's easy to attack us because when we're attacked, we're usually left on an island by ourselves, and whoever our allies are supposed to be don't really step up to support us like they should.
Mm.
So that's
Well,
that's how I feel.
Well said. We wanted to ask you guys about that because we were talking about Brother Goins before you came on, but I actually really wanted to start with some of the good news that's happening.
yeah.
We heard that your bill, Senator McKinney, is moved. It's got some movement on it. Can you speak on that a little bit?
Which bill?
You talk, it was the hair bill.
Oh yeah. So the other night we were working late, and the speaker allowed a senator to amend a speaker priority bill on the floor late at night. And what usually happens is if you want an amendment on a speaker priority, it has to be super technical. It can't be very substantive, and it really rarely ever happens. But he opened up the door, and Senator Wayne came to me like, "Hey, try to get your bill attached to this next bill." So it's about 9:30. I send an email to a bill drafting like, "Hey, can I get an amendment on LB 298?" I'm not even sure if they still up there in bill draft. Usually they are, but even so, this year's kind of been slow to get drafts back. So I send the email, and I'm hoping like, man, I hope I can get the draft back before we adjourn for the night. And luckily we got it back, and then it got to the floor. Senator Linehan opened on her bill. I hopped up. It said something briefly like, "Hey, it's a good bill. Got supported unanimously out of education, no opposition," and we got it attached. And now, the hair bill is on final reading. And I looked at a comment. I know I'm not supposed to read the comments, but Mr. Knight, it is for all black kids, boys or girls. So and not just black kids, it's for Native American students, Muslim students, Latino students, and really just students overall to try to protect them from being attacked by school officials, especially in this climate.
And I do want to clarify. That bill specifically addresses in schools. You personally have already got another bill passed for the work environment. Correctly, wasn't that your first bill?
Yeah, that was my first priority bill, LB 451. That was a couple years ago.
Yeah. So, brother Knight or Mr. Knight, Mr. Stewart. Yeah. The work environment and the schools are now both protected, and I definitely, having locks, I definitely understand what he's talking about as far as brothers being discriminated against due to their hair as well. Not only women in media, which is a big thing I heard in school as far as women in media having discrimination about their hair, but in the work environment, I too have also experienced that with locks. So thank you,
Yeah.
Senator, personally for that.
Congratulations. Also, this brings up another point too. I've been reading that there's because the time is limited, and maybe Brother Wayne, you can speak on this. Maybe the time is limited here in the session. There's a lot of bills like that are going that was my bad. Sorry about that. There's a lot of bills that are getting matched up, getting teamed up, getting put together real fast in order to get some stuff through. What's the climate over there now? Is the filibuster over? Are we?
The filibuster isn't over. The issue is going to be, what you just said, we're combining bills. So I made a pretty big scene the night that they did the speaker did allowed a substantial bill to be amended to a speaker priority. And while that was going on, Senator McKinney was getting his drafted, and Senator Linehan Senator Linehan, as much as people give her crap, she calls balls and strikes. She was like, if it's good for them, it's good for us. Let's go. And so we passed the bill. But what scares me about this combining bills is that's how we lost the 1/3 rule. That's how we lost a lot of these little one-liners. And 1/3 basically said, you got a 20-year sentence, 1/3 of your sentence, you're eligible for parole. And it was a similar situation where we were filibustering a whole bunch of stuff, and they started combining bills. And unfortunately, you can't read it all. As much as people say, read everything, you got a bill up there that's 500 pages, and your next bill is 400 pages. You don't know what they're slipping in and what they're not slipping in. And so right now, there's an education bill that's coming out that's got 16 bills in it. Now, I know I'm fortunate enough to be on education, so I know what bills they are. But at the same time, they could be adding different things in their amendment. We agreed to something, and so now we tracking down every bill to make sure it says what it says. Well, then you can't push your own bills because now you're playing defense.
Man, I'm glad you brought that education bill up, because that's definitely something we talked about on Wednesday and I personally was looking forward to asking you about. And it just kind of hit me as far as what Pillen might be doing again with this latest appointment. He mentioned that he wants to ensure that there's a conservative lean, that they can push the Republican agenda similar to other Republican-led states. And I'm questioning, what is that agenda? Marianne Williams in the chat, she's reminding us. She says, look at Texas, 2 elected black school boards removed. We did talk about that, and I'm wondering what's coming down the pipe. We're looking at Florida. They're banning. What's coming down the pipe? What's really in the education bill?
I don't think. The education bill that we're working on. This is why I think term limits are the worst thing ever, because we got relationships with senators right now on the other side who are going to hold the line. We got staff members who are like, no, you got to make sure McKinney and them are on board. So you got a lot of people who are like, we got to make sure that we got a balanced approach here. But I'll tell you though, those what we would deem to be conservative people in the body, they're now the moderates in the body. And we used to have about 9 to 10 moderates. We got probably 2 or 3 now. So they're in. I would say they're in a leadership position and they could hold the line, but they're also term limited out with me in 2 years. So I don't know if it gets better or worse.
And you're saying as far as once your terms are up, who steps in and where does that put us?
It seems like we're electing more extremists on both sides, and that's never been good for anybody.
Man, and I kind of talked about this in a previous episode as far as the political extremism on both ends. It almost seems like it's coming, like they're meeting. It's coming full circle. You know what I mean? And ideologies are now overlapping, and it's getting kind of spooky out there as far as the political extremism and the ideologies that I'm hearing from both sides. So I definitely agree. We need to kind of calm the pendulum down a little bit.
Um, definitely. I also want to jump in here in the chat. Brother Arrows Pro 2 says, for every dollar spent on incarceration, there needs to be a dollar spent on prevention. Brother Jonathan Benjamin Alvarado's in the chat saying, good morning from California. Shout out to the senators.
Hey,
I'm glad you guys are chiming up in the chat. If you have any questions, of course, you can
There goes the person, Jonathan. That's a prime example. That should have never. We should have never left him leave the state to TCU. Uh, he worked on diversity. He was a huge person in the university system, huge person in South Omaha and the Florida community, and uh, we should have. There's plenty of positions that I know he could have went after. Maybe he did, but that's one that there it goes. That when you start pushing for too much, the powers that be in Omaha don't necessarily like that, and the punishment is. To Tony Goins' point, the punishment ain't just you. The punishment you and your family,
man.
and not being able to have the money you worth or your reputation being destroyed. There's many times that I'm just going to be blunt. Many times that I had this conversation, like, man, it's time for me to get out of here. It's time for me to leave the state. It's time for me to resign, because you look at the shots being taken at you, and you're like, man, is this worth it? I can go work a 9 to 5. Come home and just spend time with the kids and not have to deal with any of this.
Bro.
Man, come to death row. No, I'm just playing.
Legislature all up in the legislature. Nah, man. No, we talk about this all the time. We say this all the time too. I mean, that's a constant conversation. Do you stay in and fight, or do you give yourself a break?
Man,
when it keeps on rolling the way that it rolls, and really can't blame anybody who decides they got to do that.
yeah, man. But we definitely appreciate y'all, for fighting, because the sad, reality is, man, it's not. It's not many. We need somebody. And
Yeah, but
it's,
the sad part, though, honestly, if we're gonna have an honest conversation today,
let's do it.
Yes, we're in the middle of the fight, but the hard part about the fight is that many people in our community don't fully understand the fight, and they attack us for standing up for them. That's what makes it difficult. Is we've been saying for over a year now that we're fighting some powers that don't want to see stuff change in North Omaha, but many people in our community are attacking us for standing up and fighting, and I don't know if they fully understand what is happening. And we tried to say it, but literally it's been an attack on us since we got that bill passed, and many people are taking the bait and trying to come at us and really don't understand what they're doing, and that's the frustrating part. The fight isn't frustrating because you expect to fight, especially being a black man in this type of state. But what you don't expect is for at times, and I'm not saying everybody in our community, but there's many people who take the bait on a lot of these things and just come at us and attack us without fully vetting that information. And that's what makes it frustrating.
So let me ask, we're kind of seeing it, but I definitely want to know if you're seeing it, or are we missing something, in the sense that, and I mean, we kind of been talking about it, but full picture, like you said, since this bill has passed, there's been, some questionable things coming out from the community, but now we're seeing this filibuster, and now this the situation with the DED, and I know you petitioned, or there's an amendment for the funds to come through the DED. So now, depending on who's appointed, we don't know what's going to happen with that. Is it a stretch of the imagination to say that all of these are not a coincidence, and definitely has something to do with LB 1024?
I don't think anything is a coincidence. I mean, when you look at it, it's been a full attack on black people, either black women or black men, for the past 2 years. Look at all the black officials, whether you like them or not, that are deciding to just leave or resign. When you look at just how it's people who's supposed to be allies that unanimously votes to build a prison, and that's not just Republicans. But we get attacked for saying, look, we don't think none of y'all care about us, so we gonna stand up for our kids. And we got so many people telling us we crazy, texting us, all these type of things. And that's what's wild is it's hard to explain when you in it, but there's some people that on one hand act as if like they're the smartest, most educated people in the world, but when it comes to these things, they don't get it, and that's what makes it difficult for us because a lot of those people have influence in parts of the community, or not even influence, just a sort of a voice, and social media is giving it everybody a voice. So those things get put out there, and we constantly have to either say something or stop ourselves from jumping out the window on certain things.
Yeah. Speaking of which, man, I wanted to move on to the next set of questions that we wanted to talk about, and I'm glad you brought it up about the prison situation.
Yeah.
Appropriations Committee. This is from Fred Knapp for the Appropriations Committee endorses spending for a new prison in Nebraska, $70 million next fiscal year, $120 million next, and $145 million in the future, totaling $335 million for prisons. As you just stated, it wasn't just Republicans that voted for that. That was Democrats that voted for that as well. That was people that we probably call allies in the past that have voted for that as well. I pretty much already know how you feel about this, brother McKinney. I saw some of your posts already. But anybody want to speak on that? Go ahead and breathe a little fire. Go ahead and breathe a little fire.
So
Really
for
quickly,
me,
what was the name of that bill? What was that bill number?
well, it's not a bill number. It's part of the appropriations package. So the appropriations package, they get a whole bunch of agency requests and a whole bunch of individual senators. The individual senator requests have bill numbers, but the agencies don't. And so part of the agency request for Department of Corrections was they have to build a new prison, and they voted to do that. So that's where we are. So where I feel on it is every time there's a motion, there's a vote. I'm thinking of how can it benefit our poorest, our most neediest, and Black, brown people, and that don't mean that they're all the same. It's each category. And so for me, like we saw the night that they moved a bill and attached something to it, I'm thinking, well, we got to be able to do that. And I just wish that when there's a vote for a prison, somebody makes a motion, or somebody makes a motion to peel off 30-40 million for pre-trial or preventative services, reentry, those kind of things that help our community. And from my understanding, that didn't happen, but I wasn't in the room. But every time that there should be a prison vote, there should be a vote on how we're going to keep people from going to prison.
Right. Some kind of reform. It's like you guys are the only two that's pushing for any reform at all as well. You want to put this up, buddy?
Yeah, that's why I asked what was the number, but thank you for clarifying. It went through the Appropriations Committee. So this is the current Appropriations Committee. So, just want to clarify and, come out of the mysticism. This is who voted for the prison. These people.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Myron Dorn, Robert Dover, Steve Erdman, Lauren Lippincott, Mike McDonald, Tony Vargas. Got to ask Brother Tony about that.
Surprise, yeah.
Anna Wishart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's hard. I don't. Without. I don't want to speak on stuff that I don't know enough about to speak on.
Why not? We do it all the time in the legislature.
Hey, we gotta stop CRT. Well, what's CRT?
Maybe I should run then. I don't know. Yeah, man. I don't. Like I said, I don't want to speak too much on I have no idea why they voted how they voted. All I do know though is that I do see a lot of voting, a lot of stuff passing for prisons, and like y'all are teaching us, there's no reform attached. There's no help. There's no preventative. There's no anything that's coming except for the building of more prisons. And it seems like you guys are the only two that are in there fighting for any kind of reform. Is there anybody else in there that's backing some kind of reform or preventative measures?
Well, I mean, there's people out there, like if there's a bill, I think a lot of those people on that appropriation committee is still going to vote for reform. It's just that there's a vote right there that we could have peeled off some dollars to help out, and already set the stage for that. I mean, I don't think it's a coincidence that we've been pushing the largest reform package ever in the last 6 months, and the replacement of Senator Geis is a former prosecutor. So uh, I think that's going to change the dynamics of prison reform this year in a way that we didn't contemplate.
Yeah, I didn't think about that part. We talked about the appointment, but the fact that she was a prosecutor and that's exactly what it is that she might be, pushing, what agenda she might be pushing.
But Susan Geis
We,
was on Judiciary with me and was the lead negotiator in the for the Republican side on prison reform.
so she would be the one you would be at the table discussing and negotiating with.
I don't know at this point.
Josh taking the chat, man. Good morning to you on YouTube. He said, I can see why some may have voted just to release the pressure valve due to all the overcrowding, but it would be great to see at least some movement towards reform from these same people.
So go
but
ahead,
that
Terrell.
but that vote doesn't release the pressure valve of overcrowding. The prison will take 4 to 5 years to be constructed, and on day one of that prison being open, it'll be overcrowded. It still doesn't address the overcrowding issue at all.
Yeah, actually, can you pull that up, Paul? Can you pull that up because they again are already planning on building another prison after this one is done.
I mean, they put it's 145 million set aside for the future.
What?
It don't even sound like there's a prison plan. It's just in case.
Well, the study came out and said that what the Senator McKinney just said is right. So we got to have 1,500 beds on day one, with an additional 600 to 700 beds on day two. So that means you got to build two.
Ron Chapman in the chat says, given the inmates who are still in prison beyond their release dates, where is the demand to get them timely released? Is prison overcrowding due to these inmates also?
We haven't found a whole lot of truth, and I'm not saying it's not true because you got people back there who are making calculations and they can make a mistake, but there's not a whole lot of people, if at all, who fit in that category. There was a big issue a couple years ago where they messed up a lot of good time calculations, but they haven't moved on that. They seem to have fixed that problem.
Man, so is an issue about this overcrowding just the sheer length of sentences that are being handed out? Like, is there too heavy of a hand? Is that what's causing people aren't getting out in 5 and 10 years? Like they're literally giving out what we call football numbers.
Yeah, so it used to be you would get a 5 to 10. Now you get to 15 to 20, and then on top of that, at 15 to 20, you're not getting parole because parole is not paroling people
because they're not showing up.
Right. So last year we had about 800 people who technically jammed out. That's not good for society. That's not good for anybody. We should get people on parole, some kind of post-supervised release to help them transition back into society and have all the things that are in place so they don't have to go back to the same people. You don't want somebody who's getting out of prison's first phone call to be to the same folks who they got in trouble with to go to prison.
Man. Yeah.
So if you ain't got a place to live, you ain't got money, who you gonna call? You're gonna call the same people.
Right. And end up doing the same stuff. Go ahead, Paul.
Yeah, I wanted to just reiterate some of the conversations that we're having around town. I think Heartland Ministries is the last people that we were talking to that wanted to extend doing a study for you, Brother McKinney. They actually wanted to team up with us. We're getting ready to shoot a documentary, a set of 3 documentaries for MCC on reentry and recidivism. Yeah, well, the reentry program is the one that is going through this. So we're going to talk to people that are in and out and didn't get out, and everybody in between. So we remind me, Brother McKinney, to get with you on that because I think there might be some weaponry there in order for the next time that these things come up and we can try to do something about some kind of reform or getting some eyes on reentry and just getting some help there. It might be a good team up. But there's people out there, there's organizations out there, people out there that care about this subject, and we're trying to rile these people up and get behind it. What's the next step? When can you guys, both of you guys, actually go back into really pushing for this? Is it going to be next year that we got to talk about prison reform and stuff again now, or what's the deal?
I mean, still gonna talk about it this year and still gonna push for it this year. I know it's an uphill battle, but we can't just bow out and,
Mm-hmm.
and not speak up about it. I'm not exactly sure what's gonna happen, but I'm sure Senator Wayne is just as I. We're gonna stand up and speak about it and try to get it as much as possible, but still don't know. It's not a guarantee.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
8:15 right now. If you believe in the concept of time, if you don't know who we're sitting here with, brothers Senators Terrell, McKinney, and Justin Wayne, put some respect on their name.
Man.
Coming here talking about the fight, man, and we have asked them a ton of questions. I want to ask one more set of questions before I want you guys to be able to tell us what's on your minds about stuff too. Just a comment or two about the brothers that got let go in Tennessee. Any insights on that that we haven't been able to read?
Man, that's crazy. Uh, I got home. Well, I was driving home and Justin told me about it. He was listening to it. I got home and sat down. It's just like, this is, I don't know where we at as a country. But
Shocking, man. Huh? Shocking.
Man.
we're in a bad space, and especially being a black man in America, y'all know, and other black men know it's always an attack on us. And it's kind of ironic that they were voting to expel three Democratic senators and the white one got saved. That
Man.
that tells you everything.
Man.
And she even said it. She was like, the only difference is my skin color.
Yeah, she even said it. Yeah.
Mm.
What you breathe some fire on that, brother Wayne? What you thinking?
I don't even know where to begin. I couldn't turn off the radio. Usually I'm trying to decompress, listening to some music, and I was just listening to that as it transpired. And man, not just removing them, but you disenfranchising the black community by not even having somebody there on votes, right? And so,
Man.
it's an interesting state of affairs, and
It is.
yeah, I don't even know. I mean, I can't imagine that happened in Nebraska, but after seeing that in Tennessee, I was like, man, that could happen this year.
That's
Again.
where I'm going with it. I feel like it. I could, that opened my eyes up. Oh, we got a couple brothers on our in there for us right now. They dismissed them over some BS. Then I mean, if it could happen there, it could happen here.
Again,
Well, the thing about it
Republican-led
is,
states
right,
on
and
that agenda.
the thing that's scaring me about this, and I don't know if "scare" is the right word, but making this real interesting for me is, I used to think the trans agenda by the Republicans or the far right, I used to think, well, maybe they really care about it. I'm trying to give people the benefit of the doubt now, but now I really believe this everything going on is a systematic approach to eliminate black males and black and brown leadership. And the easiest way to do that is if you divide your allies and having them focus on something over there and you over here, and you still working on black and brown, and now they're peeled off and working on this other area under attack. And now that you divided the team and you just running things through. And that's what's happened in Tennessee. And then by the vote, it just kind of confirmed that. Like, yeah, two brothers, y'all gone, but the white lady, I know she's an ally, but she's still white. We're gonna keep her cool.
Yeah. There you go.
Jumping in the chat real quick, Mariam. First of all, Mariam, Tennessee is giving the entire country an object lesson in critical race theory. Says Ellie Mistel. Was she the white lady? I'm not sure who Ellie Mistel is.
No, I don't think that was her name.
Oh, okay.
No, Gloria Johnson.
Interesting quote though.
Yeah.
In Tennessee is giving the entire country an object lesson in critical race theory. Also, Brother Nice said, let you know that just how far black people have really come. Marianne Williams says they seem to especially dislike legislators named Justin. Yeah, I was like, they took their Justins away. We still got our Justin though, so we gonna just stay in there. Whitney Richardson said, I'm from the South, and nothing that happens there surprises me. Exactly how they get down. Oof. Brother Nice says now those cats got to respond money and got to respend money and guarantee a white person or a collaborator will be running against them. Yeah, because they have the opportunity to run again. And I do want to mention that too. That might get overturned. I did read somewhere that that could be reversed, and if it's not reversed, they can also run again next term. So, I mean, we'll see how these brothers fight. But yeah, it's really like we always talk about this script that we feel like Republicans all around the country are following, and we were closely looking at whether or not that's being followed here in Nebraska. Seems like it for some. It seems like it sometimes.
Yeah.
Gwen Easter is saying how many halfway houses are available for them to live when they come home. It's hard for them to get home and jobs. Good morning to you. She's talking about prisoners coming, people coming back from being incarcerated and having to re-enter society and so on. You know, it's been tough for them to find homes and jobs and so on. Need much more support needed for sure. So I appreciate your comment. Right now, we're going to continue to talk about this Tennessee situation later. But while you guys are here on your time, I just want to ask you guys before you guys take off to do what you got to do. What's top of mind for you? What's top of mind for us? You know, for again, we always ask what is it that we need to be looking at closely and trying to support or trying to translate to people, trying to communicate to other people. What's top of mind for what you guys? If this is your platform, you guys want to speak on what you want to speak on. What is that?
531 is on the agenda for next Tuesday, but because of everything that's going on, I'm not necessarily sure we even get to it next week. So we'll see. I guess what's on my mind, I don't know. It's been a rough few days. What's on my mind is violent. I ain't gonna say that.
That's the wrestler speaking.
Definitely, trying to think to myself, talk to Senator Wayne just about strategy and what can we do to get things done for our people in our community. So that's kind of what's on my mind, is taking these next few days of recess and getting my mind refocused to get back and battle it out for the rest of the session and just figure out a way. That's what we got to do. We honestly, I don't feel like we have a choice but to figure it out and try to find a way for our community, no matter the obstacles. Honestly, I just know now, well, I knew the other days it was just us. So we got to figure it out.
Seems to keep being proven true as well. So,
man, usually I'm the optimistic, and we're gonna figure it, bro. Tennessee took a different approach to me, and brother Goins, and like there are some conflicts that are blatantly in front of us that people are saying nothing about, and people got to understand how these stories get fed. Is somebody typically close to that person or working for that person starts feeding the papers. And so the intent is to take somebody down, and it's just, I mean, whether it's facts or not, it's the intent behind it that just it I don't know. It's got me in a place right now. And then when I heard the replacement, and I know her in a sense from a prosecutor standpoint and her philosophy, I told McKinney, I said, damn, we back at ground zero. Like, man, we've been negotiating for 4 or 5 months, and part of the reason we weren't pushing hard because we got the economic and the prison thing going at the same time. We try and negotiate with the governor on a overall economic package that we were doing yesterday with him, 2 days ago with him, and we got these fires everywhere, and then the curveball is we back at ground zero.
Man, any word or speculation or any idea of who sent that letter on Goins?
No,
maybe even saying names.
No, I don't know, and I think that's part of the blessing of journalists is they got confidential information, informants, whatever you want to say. But at the end of the day, to me, it's just a distraction to continue to, I think, stop the most economic development opportunity we ever had in East Omaha. And I don't think it's a coincidence that there were a lot of Black and brown people in decision-making positions. And when the money starts coming out, people started saying, all right, how are we removing these folks?
Right.
And so, we got today and then Monday. Today's my day off, but Monday we have a recess day. Senator McKinney and I are spending that recess day negotiating with the police on a criminal justice package. We've been at a good point, but now I don't know, as a former prosecutor, if that changes that, it will change the dynamics on the floor. She's gonna get up and say, "I'm against this," and all my years of experience. And reality is, on that side, I didn't have that person on the floor, so it was a lot easier to move some things around. And we had a really good game plan. We had a really good agreement with Geis. Now I don't know if that agreement's gonna be honored.
Man. I have one last question for you. As far as the other side of this, because we see not much is changing on the prison side. And of course they're building new prisons, more prisons, and now it's going to be harder to negotiate any changes, as you're saying. But let's look at the other side as far as the preschool to prison pipeline and what's going on with education, because not only are they obviously blocking money coming to North Omaha, but we'll talk about what's going on with OPS having to send money out to Westside. So now they're taking money out of North Omaha. And then we had questions specifically to you, Senator Wayne, about how, again, you mentioned Westside, each student is like $5,000 versus OPS students are 1,500. How that number is even, like, how do they find that number? How does that work? And just kind of
So what you're
speak to
talking
that.
about is net. What you're talking about is net option enrollment, and so how it works is Westside is an unequalized school district, and the reason they are and unequalized means they don't get extra money from the state. We'll just keep it simple. Is because they have enough resources locally. Their property taxes cover way more than they need to pay for their school.
Mm-hmm.
But when a kid goes there from a different district, they get a full 10,500 from the state. When a kid comes from OPS to Millard or Millard to OPS, they get around 5,000 per that student. And so we're fighting that. We it's been going on forever. I think we got to fix. My problem right now, honestly, is OPS in the sense of it's hard for me to advocate for more money when last year they lowered their levy and reduced their budget by 14 million. So it's hard for me to. I mean, we're still gonna fight for it because to me it's about the students. But the argument I'm running against right now is OPS has lowered their levy the last couple of years and haven't ran like a levy override or things like that, where Westside has, Millard has, other school districts have, and so other senators are saying, "Well, does OPS even need the money?"
Mm-hmm.
It sounds like what they're saying about the north side.
Just overall,
The north side even need. Didn't we just give them some money?
man.
Appreciate you guys coming on, man. I know that you guys got a busy day today. Want to let you guys get on with it, but it's kind of a somber trip this time around. We usually try to keep it.
I'm trying to think of how do we end on a positive note, and at the end of the day, it's going to be a nice day today. We're going to go for some walks, spend time with your family, your kids, your baby daddy, mama. Let's have a good day. No fighting, let's just have a good day. We're going on Easter, and that's kind of the thing. I said, man, I ain't getting on social media this weekend. It's Easter. But you step back, and when you step back and you see the whole board, there's always a path forward.
There you go. Happy Easter, happy Passover, Ramadan Mubarak. Y'all take it easy.
Yeah, man. You guys have a good one, man. We'll talk to you
All right,
soon.
Paul.
All right.
All right, everybody.
Peace.
Yeah, tough one this time around, man. But appreciate those guys. Definitely go back and check out some of the questions that are in the chat. I didn't get to. I wanted to kind of let them brothers go on about their business. But if I'm sure that they'll come back and check it out. They tell me that they go back and watch the show, after it's over. I encourage everybody to do that. If you miss any parts of the show, go back to Facebook for Sky Omaha. Go back to YouTube channel as well and watch the show in its entirety and check out some of the chat questions. And continue the conversation over there in the chat, and also on Friends of First Sky Omaha, the group page on Facebook. Definitely do it over there as well. We're going to take a quick break and come on back through, and then jump into the other subjects that we have. So, and because we still need to talk a little bit about Tennessee, man. That's
Tennessee,
yeah, man.
Tennessee.
Tough one. We'll be right back. So stay tuned. First Sky Omaha Radio, First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the DS.
Paul B, Buddi3 Da Gawd, all of you.
Hey.
Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
One move, we move. Just like that. Just like one move, we move. Just like that.
Welcome back. You're listening to First Sky Omaha Radio. First Sky Omaha in the morning. Paul Beeee, Buddi3 Da Gawd, Chad Chimers, Ghost listeners. Kind of a somber Friday a little bit. It's tough. And here's some of the reasons why, man. And we gonna have to jump in and talk about these things a little bit. But unfortunately, this is where we're at.
Because we're fighting for kids who are dying from gun violence and people in our communities who want to see an end to the proliferation of weaponry in our communities, and that leads to our expulsion. This is not democracy. This is not what it is supposed to look like, and everybody needs to be very afraid and very worried that there are people in positions of power who are using and wielding that power to expel people who are duly elected to their seats. I've lost a classmate this year from gun violence. My mentor died last year from gun violence. We are dealing with a gun violence epidemic, and the resolution is not to silence the voices of people who send us here to the people's house to speak with them and for them. It is to make sure we do just legislation. It's to make sure we fight for red flag laws. We fight for good storage laws. We fight to make sure that this is a democracy and maintains its democratic principles. But that's what's being lost today.
There you go. There you go.
Thank you, Mr. President. Good morning, Nebraskans, and good morning, colleagues.
Oh, okay. Another fat finger.
I had another clip. Yeah. We're still trying to get used to that real quick. But I do want to play that other clip real quick because I think it's important too. This is the other Justin speaking right here.
For you all to ban assault weapons, and you respond with an assault on democracy. For years, one of your colleagues who was an admitted child molester sat in this chamber, no expulsion. One member sits in this chamber who was found guilty of domestic violence, no expulsion. We had a member pee in another member's chair in this chamber, no expulsion.
That's
Since you're trying to put us on trial, I'll say what you're really putting on trial is the state of Tennessee, a state in which the Ku Klux Klan was founded, is now attempting another power grab by silencing the two youngest black representatives and one of the only women, Democratic women in this body. It is in that spirit of speaking for my constituents, of being a representative of the people, that I approached this well on last Thursday, breaking a House rule, but exercising moral obedience to my constitutional responsibility to be a voice for my people, to be a voice for the Tennesseans who you choose not to listen to because of those NRA checks. For so long, this body, drunk with power, has modeled for the world what we know as nothing less than authoritarianism. And today is the climax of that behavior. But you will not be victorious because there are generations of young people who see what is going on. There are young people that as you try and beat us down, they are rising up to take back this state. That is why the nation is watching you today.
Yeah, but Brianna, sounds like he went to the Ernie Chambers School of
speech.
Speaking in legislature. Powerful words. Marianne Williams is saying Justin Pearson is going places. He's the one in the first video. He says his other speeches last night has a serious Malcolm X vibe. We got Malcolm X and Ernie Chambers speaking out of Tennessee right now.
In Tennessee.
Yeah. Couldn't ignore it, man. You know, usually we talk about what's happening more so in Nebraska, but you know, you can't ignore what's going on here in the world. You can't ignore it, especially since, you know, all this we feel like is a script that certain parties are following. That our state happens to look at closely when Tennessee does stuff, when Florida does stuff, when Texas does stuff. We have to wonder if that's coming next here in Nebraska, for sure. So, yeah, man, Justin Pearson, Justin Jones, put some respect on their names. Her Ariel's 402, I hear that. We definitely will be checking for those brothers on some other levels. And the woman who also, because they were calling them the Tennessee Three at one point until one vote made it so that the white lady could stay on. And I'm sorry, I'm calling her the white lady. I can't remember her name right now. I'll find
Gloria Johnson, Representative Gloria Johnson from Knoxville.
She even spoke up and said, "This is there's no coincidence here that it's two black men. I'm a white lady, and I get to keep my job." Paraphrasing what she said, but interesting stuff. That especially the second speaker said. I still don't know who is who, which is which quite yet.
So the first one with the fro is Brother Justin Pearson, and then the second one with the glasses that we just saw is
Jones.
Brother Justin Jones. Correct.
So
Brother Pearson's from Memphis. Brother Jones is from Nashville.
Okay, so Brother Jones spoke on some other reasons. Again, I want to remind people there was some gun protests going on. These brothers and the sister wanted to speak up on to acknowledge those people that were protesting for gun reform. Their mics got turned off during their speaking about that. And so they said, well, you're not going to just turn my mic off. I'm going to keep speaking. So they spoke with the mic off, which is what they're considering a lack of decorum in the court. The lack of decorum in the room. So Brother Jones speaking on real lack of decorums.
Man, he said a senator.
Come on, bro.
He said a senator peed in another senator's seat.
Wife beaters, child pornography, all over the place with reasons to dismiss somebody from the room. Them speaking up when the mic is off doesn't for their constituents who are out there protesting for something that they feel passionate about. It's really interesting that it's the two black men that got the hand slap, got the dismissals.
Man, they ain't getting it slapped. They got it chopped off.
Not to mention, what'd you say your name was again?
Gloria Johnson.
Miss Johnson did the same thing that they did. Gets to keep her job. So who's all voting in there on that? Who's in the room that voted for them to be gone, and who in the room? Who's the one vote that said, "Well, we can keep the white lady though"? Hot mess, Brother Vaughn Chapman. We're gonna have to come back to this.
Oh man, went in.
You even called it. He said my Friday diatribe. Even though. Definitely go back and check out what he's talking about, and we will too after the show and jump into that. But let's talk about that.
Well, just kind of getting into the tip of the iceberg that is this diatribe. I will kind of acknowledge it because he's making a connection between what we're talking about in Tennessee and what's happening here in Omaha. Because again, there were reports from national outlets that the Empowerment Network and other, Omaha 360, other organizations in Omaha have stemmed, our gun violence and, turning the situation around. But there's now another report coming out from Omaha World Herald saying that might actually not be the case. Actually, 150 people were shot in Omaha in 2022. Again, according to this article, it says gun violence can sometimes be high profile, as with last week's mass shooting in Tennessee. Again, mass shooting in Tennessee at an elementary school, which is why we're not going to go there. But other times, especially when no one is killed, it can almost be hidden from view. But yet the reality is that shootings, fatal or not, take a heavy toll on the Omaha community and elsewhere, like Jonathan, who was a coach and counselor, who was also one of the victims of gun violence in 2022. Again, some of those lower profile shootings, which happen a lot more often, especially in Omaha, still make an impact. And a lot of times, due to retaliation and this kind of tick for tat game that we see being played in the streets, it usually does, even if it's not a fatal shooting, lead to other fatal shootings. So yeah, the conversation definitely needs to be had. And thank you, Brother Von Chapman. We'll try to get more into what you had to say about that. But making the comparisons between Tennessee and Omaha is in Nebraska really is definitely appropriate. And again, based on the conversation we just had with the senators, I'm kind of big picture thinking, reading the writing on the wall. We have more prisons being built. We have more guns easily accessible as the gun bill in Nebraska is moving forward. We have disinvestment in OPS, which is a major, the largest school district. And so if there's no resources in the schools, if there's more guns, if there's no real jobs, the money that's supposed to come to the community to create the jobs is not going to be there. The play is obvious what they're planning for. They're creating the environment to fill up the prisons. With who? Come on, man. Like, again, it's obvious. It's blatant what's going on, and it's almost like, man.
One of the things that the brothers mentioned, because we do got a couple people fighting for us here. We got our own Justin. Both of those brothers' names is Justin in Tennessee. I was just I posted this morning. I was like, they taking their Justins away. We still got our Justin, and we got and it's a mirror, it's a parallel. We got a couple brothers, the only two in the legislature, fighting for what's going on in North Omaha. What's standing out to me is what Brother McKinney said. He expected that fight. The first time I ever saw Brother McKinney, he had a Black Panther T-shirt on and a hat that said "All power to the people."
Man.
And I was like, oh, this brother, okay, he ready to come with that Panther vibe, that Panther energy, which I'm all the way behind. This is way before I knew him, way before he even decided to run. He was just at city council. He was just at meetings talking about what was happening. And the fact that he knew what he was getting into. I remember I met him at UNO, at a meeting at UNO where I think Brother Jonathan Benjamin Alvarado was speaking, as a matter of fact.
Man.
And he had the more power to the people hat on, and I was just like, okay, let me see what's happening with this brother. And we talked, and this is way before he decided to run, so he knew what he was getting into, and he said it on the show today. I expected to go in there and fight. What I don't expect is to come back home and have to fight the community I'm fighting for. That's what's sticking in my mind right now, because we have come to such a clear understanding ourselves, and with the help of the chat chimers, with the help of the ghost listeners, with the help of the friends of First Sky Omaha, and we've all are realizing that we got two brothers in here. If you're sitting in Tennessee and you're looking at Omaha, you're looking at the only two black men in the legislature fighting for the black and brown folks. And like Justin Wayne said, like Senator Wayne said, and disenfranchised people and poor people, because they're not, just because you black and brown don't mean you poor. Mm-hmm. They're not all the same thing. They're different. They're different groups, but they're in there. The only ones really in there really fighting for things. The allyship that they get is when they put something forward, and the allyship votes with them sometimes. But it always comes back to what Brother McKinney said. They feel very alone in the legislature. They're the only two that sometimes they got to fight everybody in the legislature. And for them to come back to the community and have to deal with a bunch of folks that don't want to take the time to understand the way that we all are trying to do, that makes me the maddest. Because what really needs to happen is that we need to have their back, because they're up there knowing they're going to be up there fighting, knowing that they have to deal with that. And then have to come back and question whenever you get to the point where you're like, because I've done it myself where I'm doing this work. This is the work that we're doing. First Sky Omaha, we've made into a for-profit company so that we can run our stuff without being told what to say and what to do and everything else. But our community piece is this. First Sky Omaha in the morning. We talk to people 2 hours a day, three times a week, so that we can get on the same page about stuff. This is our community piece. Now, the moment I start feeling like the community don't care about what we're doing, or we getting backlash for what we're doing, or whatever, then I'm like, well, who are we doing this for? What are we doing this for? Why am I still in town? So it struck me what them brothers was saying, man. You go there and you got to deal with all this mess and this fighting and the fear of you know what I'm saying. Everything that the Tennessee brothers have to deal with, these brothers are dealing with on a daily basis as well, thinking that they got allies everywhere and the allies don't be kicking in. Then they come back to the communities, and the communities are berating them over not knowing the whole story about what's going on with 1024 and everything else. Like they're just out here doing something corrupt. Like they're just out here not fighting. And it's getting on my nerves because it's on my nerves hard because this situation for Sky Omaha has figured out what's going on here. We have with the help of the chat chimers, with the help of the senators coming on, with the help of us doing our own research and reading and talking about it amongst ourselves, we're figuring out what's happening. And what's happening is there are two black men in the legislature fighting for North Omaha to be raised up. The same way there are two black men sitting in these seats right now fighting for North Omaha to be raised up. The same way that you guys are sitting in your cars and in your homes right now, chat chiming in order for Omaha to be raised up. So the lack of people knowing, somebody said earlier, it's the lack of it's either being scared or the lack of knowledge. And we're the lack of knowledge can always be solved by you just going and trying to figure it out.
Man, asking questions.
So the community, this community that is fighting the brothers who are trying to fight for them, it's unacceptable. And we're going to keep on trying to do what we can do to get everybody to really understand here what's going on here, because how are they supposed to fight if we don't got their back? How are they supposed to battle that? That's like two rival motorcycle gangs, two people from a rival gang walking into another gang's territory, knowing they got to fight everybody in that gang, and it don't even got no place to run back home to. Don't have no back. Don't have really people having their back all the way. So, I gotta say that
Ariel's 402 telling you gotta get on them. You gotta. He said, "Look at the camera."
I gotta. I said, who is? I'm with that. Brother Knight too is saying what they're telling us is you Negroes getting out of hand want CRT, want laws not to send your black ass to prison. You want a good white person's job. Y'all getting out of hand. Okay, I hear I hear the sentiment for sure. And those guys, can you imagine have to go up there and dealing with that sentiment all the time, like fighting people, trying to get their mind changed, trying to get your agendas across for your constituents, and having to deal with that all the time? It really is that serious. So we praise them all the time for going into that fight, and they're fighting, and they're winning sometimes, and they are prepared for that fight, and that fight doesn't tire them out. What tires them out is coming back to our community and our community giving them a bunch of grief because of not understanding what they're doing.
Yeah, we're supposed to be energizing them for the fight.
Energizing them for the fight, having their back for the fight.
Right.
Who's the successor? When Brother Wayne leaves, who's going in? Who's chiming up for this? Tanaya Patterson said, "I don't know how Ernie Chambers did it that long." Ernie Chambers did that long because Ernie Chambers was just like, there is nothing. I'm going to do what I'm going to do. And that's just going to be that. And you know what I'm saying? Like he had a kind of tenacity, a kind of thing that is rare, man. It's rare. But it does come from like you being the only person that has it. You have to be the only person in there. How strong you got to be if you're going to stand in the room with 45 people and be the only person fighting for a thing?
And tell them I'm your God.
What do you got to turn off or turn on? Right. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's what to me, it's a natural progression. If I was in there that long dealing with everything all the way back from the 60s and 70s and everything, by the time I was done, I'd be on that too. Like, you guys have no power over me. I am your God. I'm going to make this thing happen with or without your help. Because where else can you go after a lifetime of having to fight?
Right. And not to mention, like, that's just in his blood, man. Like, that's just his makeup, because as soon as he stepped off the legislative floor, he stepped behind the mic. I mean, he's still going. He hasn't stopped. He's just not doing it on the floor.
Check out the Ernie Chambers channel on YouTube. Check out the Ernie Chambers channel on YouTube. He's still doing his thing. I associated with, he had a set of weights in his office all the time he was in the legislature, and I always think about that. He, in between sessions, he's in there pumping iron, and it's all put together for me, the fight. you even have to translate it physically that way.
It makes sense. Actually, it makes sense after leaving that floor. Just not to break somebody's neck, you might have to pump some iron real quick.
You see what Terrell said today? He was like, he got violence in his brain. Nah, he didn't go there. Like, he cleared it up. But you know what I'm saying? Like I've seen him in the legislature be like, I'm gonna shut my mouth right now because I feel like jumping over this table on somebody. And I don't blame him.
Terrell is a top level wrestler. Let's not forget. And I say Terrell because I'm talking about the brother I went to Omaha North with. I'm not talking about I'm not talking about the senator. I'm talking about the real man. He is a wrestler, a fighter at heart.
No, bro, he ain't no wrestler. He's a wrestler. Bro.
Wrestling.
I want to jump in the chat real quick. Marianne Williams. Marianne Williams says, I want to say that Elia Mistel's book, Allow Me to Retort, is a great read on criminal justice system required reading. That was the she quoted him earlier saying he was saying that this is a lesson in CRT, and I asked her who that person was. Award-winning author, and I'm definitely going somebody I haven't heard of.
Harvard professor.
So I'm definitely going to jump in and read some of this. Allow Me to Retort. I'll check that book out for sure. She says, understanding the system helps you see what Wayne and McKinney are asking because it's not always obvious. Right. That's right. It's not. It has taken me some digging. It's taken me asking questions. Matter of fact, I get embarrassed sometimes because I'll ask them the same question a few times so I can get it because I'm not getting it the first go around. And that just tells me that what they're doing right now is so nuanced. There's so many. I can start to tell now some of the things. Sometimes Brother Wayne, Senator Wayne, will start saying something that really is so nuanced inside the legislature that I got to pull myself back out, put the context around it to even get to what he's talking about because that's how deep and nuanced the situation is with him and with them. There's a lot to learn here. There's a lot to learn. I understand that. And everybody doesn't have time. Everybody doesn't have a show to try to dig in and find out. But that's why we're here. We're going to try to make it easier for people to understand. Try to be a communication piece to be able to help people understand more what's really happening here because this is legendary time too. You think Ernie Chambers had a legendary career? We're in a legendary time right now with Brother McKinney and Brother Wayne there right now. Brother Knight said, but that's to be expected. Black people were bred for perpetual slavery. Enough hasn't been done to rid the majority of our people of that affliction. That affliction applies to how people think of us and how we think of ourselves as well, unfortunately. And it's something that we're trying to get out of in a big way. Tanaya Patterson said, I would be in trouble every day. I'd be expelled too. That's what I'm saying. I'm not even up there with it. I'd be expelled every day. Up there tripping like I don't got the whatever the word is to be able to deal with a bunch of ignorant racist stuff all the time like that. It'd be real tough for me to do that. First of all, maybe if I had, I think that Brother McKinney's going to school to be a lawyer. Brother Wayne is a lawyer, and maybe you learn some tactics in law school that will help you be able to calm yourself down and not just. But that's not me. I'm a musician. I'll just jump on. I'll just jump on.
Be some furniture moving.
Hey, I threw many a drumstick at a lead singer back in the day. I'll come over the table. Be a Swedish riot up in there. Ariel 402 says city elected positions should be assigned by proportion of demographics. It doesn't make sense to have a community of color governed by a non-color, but people of non-color. Yeah, that's a Mayor Sanchez good idea right there. I think for sure. I mean, some representation, maybe.
I mean, how far does no taxation without representation go? I mean, we just did our taxes. Do I get that back? Do I get that back?
I heard something interesting. We were talking about that cat that did the Connection show, Mr. Burke, back in the day, and I heard something. He did a speech recently where he was talking about the even our political system is from an era where there were no paved roads, there were no phone systems. Information came because somebody sent a letter out and had to wait 3 days to get somewhere and then sign it and then 3 days to get back. And that's why it made more sense to have representation for what it is that you're trying to vote for, because that representative can be in town and get all that information and take it up to the Senate or wherever and say this is what our constituents want. Now, that's how the thing was supposed to work back then, and now we are in a situation where we have paved roads and communications, instant communication. There's no need. You got to rethink whether or not we even need representation, because all I see representation doing now, aside from Brother Terrell McKinney and Brother Justin Wayne, put some respect on their name, is deciding that they're going to just do something and pushing their agenda. And they talk to a few people, a few of their constituents that say they want this, but I'm seeing a whole lot of people that are like, this personally affects me, and so I'm going to try to push this agenda. I'm seeing that a lot. I'm seeing that more than I'm seeing people on one side of the party that's following a script, even if it doesn't benefit them, they're just going to follow this script. I'm seeing others that have personal reasons why they want to pass laws. I'm not seeing a whole bunch of representatives coming into the situation here saying, well, what do you guys want? And go back and take that up there like it's supposed to be. But there's not even no need to do that now. We check out J. Cole's song where he's like, how come I don't have an app, bro?
Read my mind. You read my mind.
Put the laws on an app and let me just pick which ones I want to send my tax money to. What's the representation here for anyway if it's not going to work out right? And not to mention, we can talk about representation that's getting bought off by corporations all the time. There's so much going on with the representation piece that it disenfranchises people to even vote sometimes. People don't even want to participate because why? Are you going to get somebody in there that is still not really going to look after your best interests sometimes? Well, we happen to have a couple of senators that are representing our neighborhoods that are looking after our best interests. It is working. They are in the neighborhoods talking to us right now saying, what do you guys want? What can we get you? How can we help? What can we explain to you about the situation? And half the people in the neighborhoods are because they're not understanding or scared are not giving these brothers some back. And it's got me fired up. It's got me fired up.
Man. Sanchez, that's a doozy right there. He says the IRS stands for theirs. That's a new one. That's a new one.
I've totally let this whole session go out of hand. It's 8:56 right now. If you believe in the concept of time, got about 4 minutes left in the show. Buddy, we got a little lightning round we want to get into, or are you seeing something interesting in the chat that we need to reiterate here? I like what Marianne Williams is giving some more information on the two brothers out of Tennessee.
Yeah.
There's two ways for Jones and Pearson to be reinstated. One, they can run again in special election, and two, a mechanism allowing their own city leaders to reinstate.
Again, one is from Nashville or Memphis, and the other, I believe, is from Knoxville. I want to say.
Yeah, brother Knight. I want to get your book. Is that at the African American Bookstore? Let me know where it's at or what's happening. Hit me in the DM on that on Facebook, if you will. I know you're over there on YouTube, but let me know. I'll check your book out for sure. Lightning round, anything?
No, we pretty much touched base on most of the stories. Again, we did kind of touch on it, but some details as far as what's going on with OPS and Westside. Remember, back in 2021, state auditor's office found that OPS was overpaid by about $5.7 million. The city of Omaha by about $4.4 million, and Douglas County by about $2.7 million. And all of these were the result of what was called a calculation error. And now there is a court case that's going on between OPS and Westside because under court order, OPS is ordered to send $5.3 million to Westside Community Schools. But in the latest development, OPS has said that they're fighting that. They're actually fighting that in court. So we'll definitely keep our eye on what happens in that court case. And again, more money coming out of the Omaha area, but not a lot coming into at least East Omaha. So we'll definitely watch out for that situation, especially with the arguments of charter schools and private schools bubbling up. Yeah, definitely looking out for that.
Right.
In other news, again about the prisons, again 8-0 unanimous decision from the Appropriations Committee for a construction project, again for the $225 million potential prison, and yet $145 million set aside for yet another prison. So
there
you
you
go.
on that one. All right, we'll jump into some more of the continue that conversation, I should say, on Monday when we have News Monday. Just before we get out of here, real quick, tonight, April Fools is happening at Benson Theater. A combination of live music being played to a silent film, and in between, some pretty incredible improv. So definitely check that out. Big Canvas Comedy for Everyone, BFF. The 402 Arts, they are the ones that are coming in doing the improv troupe stuff. So check it out at bensontheater.org. Definitely check that out. Miss Erica Phelps says she got her tickets for George Clinton at the Steelhouse already. I'm going to go ahead and get mine because you ain't going to be up there without me. So Parliament Funkadelic, George Clinton is happening September 17th at Steelhouse, Omaha. Shout out to Steelhouse for trying to do something a little different than we thought they would. So that's what's up, man. There's a lot of events there. Go check them out. That's actually our partners, OEAA, or I'm sorry, the Omaha Performing Arts organization. They are the ones that are doing a lot of the booking there at the Steelhouse, and so they got some pretty cool stuff going on there too. Definitely check them out. And then if you don't know about what's happening, today is the day to get your tickets for this.
Man,
if you are in the position to be able to do that, I suggest because you're talking about supporting some real music here. This is what's going on in the music industry. If people don't get it, it is not about the record companies anymore. This is about what these people have put together here at Blue Note, the Jazz Festival. As you can see, Robert Glasper, De La Soul is going to be there, hosted by Dave Chappelle, Mary J. Blige, Nas. I mean, we can go on and on. Of course, Omaha's own Terrence Martin is going to be there as well. You can see him right there in the middle next to Rhapsody, Corey Henry. I mean, you're talking about people that are heavy hitters doing real music right now. Definitely check that out. The music industry is as strong as the music is as strong as ever. The industry is flapping around like crazy, like it always does.
Man.
And if you turn on the radio, you ain't gonna get nothing but ridiculousness. But check out real music. Support these cats here. And if you don't go, at least pull some names off of here and listen to some real music. Not to mention, I think Parliament Funkadelic and George Clinton, who's going to be here. This is probably going to be their last year of touring. So if you try to see them at some point, if you don't see them in Omaha, see them here, see them elsewhere, because you might not be able to see them next year. That's just what it is. So with that, there's a lot more haps. We'll drop them in Friends of First Sky Omaha so you can check out and see what's going on for sure. But really appreciate everybody who has joined us here. And put your haps in there too. We want to see. As a matter of fact, somebody was saying, where was that at? Somebody had a haps.
Brianna Full, I have it right here.
Full.
She says Lil Wayne concert is tonight, so there's that. And then she also says my band is also performing at Project 1818 Vinton Street. She says we're going at 8:45. I'm sick though, so if you catch my voice slipping, don't say nothing. Just putting that out there.
Hey, shout out for you to getting up and performing even while not feeling well. So I totally understand that. Appreciate you very much. Vinton Street be going off these days, by the way.
Man.
So check out some good stuff over at Vinton Street. There's a lot more I'll tell you about another time, but yeah, it's really what's up. I can see Miss Erica Felton, Glenn Easter talking in the chat. Really appreciate you guys coming. I don't know what you guys are talking about yet, but I love to see two women who care about taking care of the babies and have businesses to be able to do that, collaborating. I hope that there's some collaboration going on. Go ahead.
I do know what Sister Gwen Easter is referring to. She also mentioned that there is a hap going on. She says the African American Commission is meeting on April 22nd. The Commission on African American Affairs is having a meet and greet at North High School from 9:30 to 11:30. Commissioner, I am asking. She says, as commissioner, I'm asking the community to attend. So big shout out to Sister Gwen Easter. Put some respect on her name for that invite. Again, April 22nd. The Commission on African American Affairs having a meet and greet at North Omaha. We definitely need to team up and tap in with that, man. So pull up.
Good catch.
Yes, sir.
Also, my brother, man, Wells Lavelle in the house.
Hey,
on, bro. He's reminding us UNO got a powwow tomorrow, so do check out UNO's powwow.
Get your fried
tomorrow.
bread.
Yeah, man. Get your fried bread on, bro. Get your Indian tacos on, man. And go check out. More importantly, though, go talk to the brothers, man. Go check out the dances, the drumming. Go check it all out, man. Powwows are some of my favorite places to be. And shout out, I think that I got hip to it when Metropolitan Community College had that big powwow every year, where several tribes from all around comes through. I don't know if UNO does it the same way, but it's always a good time. So definitely check that out. Support Brother Wells, the Vels, man. Me and him got a chance to chop it up yesterday, and we got a lot of good plans, good things in the works, man. It's always about the solidarity between the brothers and the indigenous brothers as well. So shout out to him for all the work that he's doing, man. He don't know it, but he's gonna be a legend in this town for the putting things together, the togetherness between the groups in a big way, man. Togetherness between not just the tribes, but togetherness between the tribes and in North Omaha and South Omaha. So. Yeah, man, he's doing the good work, and I'm glad to see him positive and keeping those things up. So go ahead and support, check him out, and definitely check out the UNO powwow and tap in with Brother Lavelle. He got a bunch of things coming up that we can support and be a part of and go and enjoy as well. So definitely check it out. Gwen Lisa said it starts at 9 a.m. Appreciate that catch, man. Appreciate you catching that. I think I did brush and saw that pass by. I didn't forgot to say something about it. So shout out to Gwen Easter on that.
Yeah, we got to pull up to that, man. The 22nd again at North High. She says starts at 9 a.m. So yeah, if you can, definitely pull up, support the Commission on African American Affairs. I mean, that's what we talking about, ain't it?
That's what this show was all for. But you got some words for the people. Let's go ahead and let them get.
Yeah, man. Big shout out and a thank you as always to the dynamic duo, the Senators Justin Wayne and Terrell McKinney. Put some respect on their names, and let's support them, man. Let's stop these days of them on the floor fighting by themselves, even on the bills that's not so sexy. Let's make sure we can get some people out there to support, and we definitely appreciate. All the chat chimers, as always, for letting their minds be free, letting your voices be heard. Please continue to tell a friend and tell a friend. We are growing, and the national audience is growing too, man. So we really appreciate that and recognize from the Bay Area all the way down from the Bay to the A, man. We definitely appreciate the love we're getting. So continue to tell a friend and tell a friend. We're trying to tell as many people as possible what's going on here in Omaha, but as you see, we're making connections with Tennessee. We're making it's not just what's happening in Omaha. It's a bigger picture that's going on that we can definitely make connections to. So let's keep it going and to have a good weekend. It is Easter weekend, so if you believe in that kind of thing, definitely spend some time with your folks. Have a good time, be safe, and catch the same time, same place, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, right here on First Sky Omaha in the morning. Paul B, take it away.
Yeah, man, I want to do like Snoop Dogg, and I want to thank us.
Hey, man, myself. Got to thank myself.
The duo dynamic, Paul B, the Dove, Buddi3 Da Gawd is going down. We're going to keep on pushing and continuing on to do what we do, and we really appreciate that. Can't do it without you, so we really appreciate that. Pop says, awesome show, awesome week. Thanks for all you do. Have a great weekend. See you all Monday. Thanks, Pops.
Yes.
Appreciate it, man. Hope you like your package from Japan, and I hope that you're gonna have a good weekend chilling out. If you haven't eaten all the goodies yet, I'm sure that if you save some over the weekend, then enjoy. But if not, then I guess just reminisce. Miss Erica says, "Happy Easter, happy Passover, happy Ramadan." Okay, appreciate y'all. Mama God said, "Great weekend, first fam." Appreciate you, Mama God. How many did you get some orders there for the stuff that you were making? How did that go? Did you
actually? That's still going. We were talking about that the other day. Yeah, that's still going. Yeah, okay. Yeah. So still for anyone's man, Easter is this weekend. Yeah, okay. We got the flyer. Yeah, if anyone is interested in buying balloons, buying candy, packages. Mom, she has customized cards and bottles and it's a whole man, you're getting a lot, balloons and candy, and you're getting a lot. You're getting coloring books. It's a perfect gift for the kids, man, for Easter weekend. So tap in. Yeah,
that's what's up. Appreciate that. I didn't know that she had time before the weekend to get some in, but if you hit her up, she may have some time to get some in for you still. So Josh Tagg says, thank you. Take care. Be well. You too, bro, for sure. Wanda Lewis says, thank you for letting us be ourselves again. Man, thank you for letting me be myself again, for real. Man. Sarah Phelps says, the best show in the metro. Woo.
Hey.
I like that. Thank you. Also, can you put the flyer up in the group so I can share it? Yeah, I'll put the flyer
up.
Sure. Mama God said, Bunny's up. I'm out on 30th all weekend. Reduced prices. Okay, just making it happen for sure. So
tap in.
God, tap in. And tap in with us on Monday. We'll see you. We're going to try to have a decent weekend. It's supposed to be 70 out here degrees, man. So I'm going to come out and put some sun on.
Okay.
I am a child of the sun.
Man.
So definitely going to get out and enjoy that and try to get my attitude changed around here a little bit. With that said, man, we're going to go ahead and get out of here. But thanks for joining us. I want to give the Omaha tribe a shout out for allowing us to be on this land and speak while we're here. Somebody asked me why I do that. Because we asked an elder from the Omaha tribe if we could be on this land. He said, yes, you may be on this land and you may speak. And that's an important thing to do anywhere you go in America, because you are on indigenous land.
Man.
And you should ask the people whose land this is if you can be here. So shout out to them. Shout out to our elders for allowing us to speak before them. That's the Afro-American tradition as well. If we have elders, we have people that are older than us in the chat, and they have allowed us to speak before them, then that's an honor. So I want to give an honor to them as well. And shout out to you, the Chad Chimers, for allowing us to speak with you, because it's an honor for us to look eye to eye and speak face to face and really have some conversation about what's going on here in the First Skyway. So really appreciate you guys. Could not happen without you. And we really appreciate everybody who's joined in. And like I said earlier, thank you to the members as well, the club members, $10, $25, $50 a month that you are continuing to help us out with in order for us to continue this conversation in this show and make it grow. So thank you for that. If you have not donated, you're so inclined, go to firstskyOmaha.com, hit the donate button.
Oh yeah.
And we really appreciate all of your assistance and help there as well. It's just what it is these days, man. It's a vote. Put your money where you use your dollar as a vote. So if you're voting for us to stay on and keep doing what we're doing, then go ahead and make a donation. firstskyOmaha.com, hit the donate button. Really appreciate that very much. Other than that, man, we are probably later than we've ever been before. We
a little bit.
Apologize for that. Yeah. But we're going to go ahead and get out of here and let you get on about your day. So good. If Kimmer, you still listen, shout out, safe travels. I'm glad that you're putting it down and linking the way that you are. Thank you for representing. And we will definitely see you and talk to you about what you're doing on Wednesday. So other than that, man.
Yeah, let's live a life together. It's good to be seen and not viewed. Until next time, see you on Monday.
Stay on this side of the grass, y'all.
Peace.
By the way, Vanglorious. This is protected by the red, the black, and the green.